look. She's not a bad looking white girl. So I always just say, if a girl looks good enough, she gonna stretch it out once she starts too. And I guarantee she's young. She ain't probably give college a chance. She just, no, let me just hop into the corn and let's just get it popping.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it compromises your morals for sure. But I wouldn't apply that to you because you're a woman. I would apply that to you because you're a corn star. Has nothing to do with you being a woman.
Okay, you've talked about fighting for the patriarchy. You talked about feminism. Has not
So
been
did
perfect.
you. You said that you like patriarchy. Does that make you?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Does that make you a misogynist?
I never said that.
You did.
You talk about the downsides of women, I don't know, being fully realized fucking individuals after feminism. It's that, and in that way, it's apparent to me. But if that's not misogyny to you, then you don't have to literally be a woman beater.
Your sexuality in a safe and healthy
You
fun
said,
way.
as somebody who thinks women are lesser or hates women, I want an example of how you can demonstrate that I think women are lesser or that I hate them.
I just explained. You can rewind how women are lesser. Okay, women can't maintain a society. You've propped up the
Not modern
patriarchy. Okay, how you've debunked and said what is everything wrong? Again, feminism has not been perfect. It's gone too far in some ways.
Okay.
He's going against women being in the work.
Feminism in its inception was low key fucking women up from the get go. Like it been screwed y'all over from day one.
Just so we're clear,
being individuals outside of Betty Crocker, fucking and the Stepford wife.
Look, we got to address points one at a time. If you're just gonna like list off like a million different things, look. So okay, specifically on the argument of what would happen if all men disappeared immediately and women didn't have any opportunity to be able to learn the ways in which.
Parade.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, what did you say?
I said I'd throw a parade.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's how that story started.
Yeah.
Throw a parade. So
that is how the story started.
Can we all agree on one thing? You might disagree with the outcome here. Would you guys be prepared to agree? And I could show you like the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I could show you the representation of men who are in infrastructure jobs. If it's the case that say like over 90% of men in like critical infrastructure jobs, the types of jobs that really keep society running when it comes to the electrical grid, when it comes to waste management, when it comes to sewage, when it comes to water, when it comes to all this stuff, when it comes to telecoms, etc. Will you at least grant me that it's 90% men? It's probably more, but let's just say it's 90% men.
It is 90% men, but it's men's fault that it's 90% men because society.
I agree with you, sweetheart. It's not even our fault that it's 90% men. It's just that the work that it takes to build this is just beyond female capability. Like how high we build these skyscrapers and everything. How high the electric line be. We do it in all types of weather. The oil rig. Bro, going out there, I'm gonna be rude. I gotta give it to my fishermen. But going out there and getting food like that, dangerous? Bro, women ain't signing up for that. Even if they had to. So yes, there is some things you do have to give to us going like, yeah, if guys disappear, let's be real, this will fall apart. Like if guys disappear, I'm pretty sure the sewer system will fall apart. Okay, I can give out everything else, but I know goddamn well you ain't gonna go in that sewer.
It was set up to. Until very recently, women were even allowed to do those jobs. It wasn't our choice that we weren't allowed to do those jobs. It's your guys' choice, so we wouldn't have that choice.
Nothing is precluding women from entering these fields
nowadays. But
okay, we're talking about now. We're talking about now.
But even nowadays, what is precluding them is the mechanic example.
We're just going to grant for a second.
Like women are still treated like shit in those places, so much to the point that they're like, I'd rather be an esthetician because people don't treat me like shit.
Agreed. So we'll just grant for a second that it's men's fault that women are not in those roles fair enough.
At this moment in time, there are more men in that field.
So if we acknowledge that, if it's 90% men, 95% men, and these are the men who are, for example, that they're in the job when anybody here been around when there's like a blackout?
Not here.
Okay.
Not here.
I mean,
I don't know if you've ever seen. I don't know if you've ever seen like if there's a power line that's out and it's 3 a.m. It's men who are going to fix that in the middle of winter when it's snowing and there's a hailstorm. It's men who are going to go out and fix that, right?
Unless you're Nina.
Right. Okay.
Unless you're Nina.
So granting all this, granting that 95% of men take up these occupations, how could it just be, how is it wrong to say that If it's the men that would fix these systems, electrical grid, sewage, waste, water, everything, telecoms, whatever it may be, if it was the men who occupy those jobs, if they all disappeared, like, why is it wrong to say that if they all disappeared, those systems would collapse?
Go, baby.
Would they not? Would they not collapse? Would they not collapse?
I think I'm agreeing with what you're saying is we're taking all the information we have right in this current moment. And if that were to happen,
yes, and
no one figured okay, that maybe could happen. But my question is, why are we trying to imagine a world without men?
Well,
why is that the issue?
So we can realize the importance of men, because y'all say that men are useless. There's women who actually will sit out there and say, oh yeah, men, we don't need them. They're useless. Yeah, they need to disappear from society. They cause nothing but war and all that. But I'm like, all right, cool. But if we disappear from here the next day, your cell phone wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to go use the bathroom. You wouldn't be able to go for your gas stuff for too much longer. Once that shit runs out, I hope y'all gonna go out in the middle of the ocean to the oil rigs. And it's like, come on now.
Yes, I'll answer the question.
Yeah.
So I would concede on the other end, the flip side, that there's women who are in things like childcare, nursing occupations, things like this. If they all disappeared tomorrow, I can show you crisis after crisis that men would have to scramble to solve.
Yeah, 100%.
We're just saying that societal infrastructure itself is not going to completely collapse. How that could ever be a misogynistic statement, I don't know. But the reason that we're trying to dive into this is because, again, to explain it again, I run into delusion constantly, where it's, no, I don't believe that would be a problem. No, I do think that we would be just fine. No, I don't think that there would be significant problems. That's a delusional take, which then I can take to kind of get to the heart of those issues. So, okay, if it's built on this false belief, where did we come up with that false belief? That's why it's important.
No, I understand, but I guess my next question is how do you know what's delusional or not? What is your objective truth? Where does that come from?
Well, and if I may just jump in really quick, the reason that we actually provided this scenario of if all men disappeared, women didn't have some like foreknowledge of it coming, it just instantly happened. When we asked you, do you need men? A lot of you said, no, don't need them. Don't even need them for my survival. Right. Well, I mean, despite us presenting evidence that you actually do you still just...
Can I chime in really quick? I agree with you that based on the way that society is functioning right now, you're right. If you guys all randomly disappeared, probably the power grid would go out and stuff like that because 90% of those jobs are held by men in the first place. However, this is where it becomes misogynistic to me, is I do believe that you're right. Maybe initially there would be some sort of chaotic collapse. Things wouldn't be working out. But what I believe wholeheartedly is that women have the ability to learn, train themselves, and use tools to be able to accomplish those jobs. So maybe there'd be a...
Yeah, but it won't be as good as how a man does it. It won't be as fast as we do it. That's the problem.
lull where we're fucked for a little bit because everyone needs to catch up. But I strongly believe that women put their heads together and teach each other and learn. Yeah, you're right. I might not be strong enough, but like I ran the produce department at Trader Joe's and I was the first woman in 10 years to do so. I was using a Big Joe jack. Do you think I was lifting pallets alone? Mm-hmm. No, but I learned how to operate machinery so that I could move those pallets by myself at 3 a.m. every morning. And I was the first woman in 10 years to do so.
Can I just rebut this a little
the fact that you think I can't learn is what's misogynistic. Not that I don't know it right now.
Can I ask you a question?
Never disputed ever.
So are you
Society
familiar with
would not collapse if we had the ability to learn and fix it.
But hold on. Let me just say one thing. Are you familiar with the term point of no return?
Yes, of course.
So you say, if we can learn. I'm telling you, within days, the telecommunication system down, internet.
I ain't gonna lie. Question that's a good point, bro. Like for survival, like bro, if this whole thing went down, bro. Look, bro, there goes women's rights. Like, women, little low-key need to understand that, bro, the only reason why y'all got rights and y'all able to work and have all these freedoms is on the backs of men. Like, it's on the backs of good men that keep this society going, that let y'all have these rights. If this society was to go, or this Democratic Republic, or this constitutional republic goes, if it goes, bro, women's rights go with it. I promise you. And you don't want it to go to the Muslims. Shoot, you want to be under a Christian nation, not a Muslim one. Trust me.
down,
You know how
you
they
wouldn't
gonna do that?
have the internet. You wouldn't have like the means to go like internet down within days, electricity down within days. Like where you can't just go to a library and pick up a book, a physical book.
Riddle me this though. What about at the beginning of time when men, they didn't know how to make a fire? Wait, let me talk. Men didn't know how to make a fire, and did they have the internet to teach them? No, maybe one group of men learned in this small village to make a fire. Men on the other side of the world also kind of figured out how to make a fire.
Interesting you
and
assume it's
eventually
men.
we all figured it out.
It's
So why
interesting
can't
you
we do it
assume it's
again?
men.
I'm assuming it's men because you guys are acting as if men are the ones to figure this out. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't
is
tell
we
you you had
have-
to assume it's
we
men.
have- we have the equal ability. So if everything's shut down, I do think that like in my immediate little village, me and the women around us, I'd lean on the women closest to me and be like, what do you know that I don't? Teach me and I'll teach you what I don't. And some woman hours away from me, which I don't have the internet, so I can't communicate with her.
I'm sorry, but if we did put a bunch of women in the wild or in, well, actually, we already did it. I think Kevin Sam used to bring up this shit all the time. The Bears Island, where they put two men on, they put a whole bunch of men on one side, and a whole bunch of women on the other side, and the other side of women completely failed, and it was full of like low-key educated women, like high-class educated women that should have been able to figure it out, but they didn't.
She's doing the same thing with the women in her immediate surroundings. And eventually, you're right, it might be a blackout period like we're cavemen first, or cavewomen for a second. But I think that we are smart enough that we can learn and figure it out and teach each other. And eventually, we can rebuild society. Because eventually, like at one point in time, this society was built in the first place. Why can't we rebuild it again? Why are we so stupid we can't figure it out? You're right, I don't know how the electrical grid works, but I do believe I could learn if I tried.
I believe you.
So,
But that's not.
Like-
but that was never the point of my dispute. So, if we,
the point of your dispute was, can women survive without you? I think initially we wouldn't know what to do, and then I think
Nope,
we've
that
learned,
wasn't
and
the-
we would know how
no.
to do it. I don't wish to live in a world without you guys. I
is it-
really don't.
Can I talk?
I wasn't done talking.
How
should
can
talk
you?
when
How
my
can
sentence
wait?
is
How
over.
can you stop
Hey,
talking
hey.
for 5 seconds and
The
then I start and you say I
disrespect
wasn't
is
done?
real.
I didn't stop for 5 seconds. I was like mid opening my mouth when you interrupted me. Like I was actually not done talking. But
Okay,
you can talk
when you're
now.
done
I'm
talking,
done.
let me know.
But I'm gonna do a little side piece for y'all though, real
What if y'all do not care about the black community the way you claim you do? Especially over here on TikTok. Because if you did, you wouldn't be afraid to tell the truth. And I see that that is something a lot of you really struggle with. Yeah, because Megan Thee Stallion performing at that rally was inappropriate. Period. We don't want to hear.
It's like I can't even kill y'all with this topic. All right, I'm timing out for this one, guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't worry, I'll be back with more tomorrow. Check out the last episode I did with what was his name? The judge from Florida that was putting 68 holes through niggas. Hey, man, it was a lit interview with PBD and them. Shoot, let me know your thoughts and comments, because I'm about to give you my closing thoughts, man. My closing thoughts on this is that, bro, women don't know what misogyny means for real because, well, I'm gonna be real with you. They kind of just want to be emotional about it. It's like it's really a trigger word that they're just gonna play on you to pretty much get you to stop talking. Like, oh, you hate women. Like, wait, hold on. So you tell me just because I'm challenging you, I hate women? Well, let me shut up then. It's like, no. If they